Hello again. Welcome to Grace Unlimited. I'm Vijay, and today I'm going to have another fellowship with you about love. And today we are going to discuss a few things, take it beyond that point from where we left last time. And if you haven't gone and seen this video which I posted last time, I would request you to go and first have a look at that and listen to that message. And this is going to take you forward from that point. So, today's study, we are going to take for study today the book of Matthew, chapter 14, 22 verse onwards. If you read until 33 verse. So when you read this chapter from 22nd verse to 33 verse, you will know that it is an episode where Jesus is found walking upon water, and it so happened that one day he got separated from his crew members, from his disciples. They had taken the boat, and then he had to walk up on the water, and the water was also not still, because there was a storm that was on the other end, and the sea was not very still, and it was turbulent, and yet they saw a figure like structure walking towards them upon the water, and they got very frightened. They thought it's a ghost that is coming towards them, and they were terrified until Jesus told them that it is him and nobody else. And then at that very moment, Peter, he wanted to also walk and reach Jesus. He wanted to walk on the turbulent waters and reach Jesus. And Jesus asked him to come, and there's no problem about it. But as far as his attention was and his focus was upon Jesus, he was easily able to walk upon the water, uh, and the moment his attention went towards the storm, he began to drown. So Jesus had to hold his hand and pull him up and save his life. So that is what is happening with all of us. And we need to know one very important thing. The world keeps telling you that, okay, times are going to be good, but how? They don't tell you how your times will become good or better and best, but they keep telling you and giving you false hopes that your times are going to improve and the conditions are going to not remain same, and after every darkness, the light is on the other end of the horizon. So uh, those sort of things are okay, it's good, it gives you some sort of a inspiration, or it boosts you up that, okay, it's the same with everybody, and precisely that is what it is all about. It is same with everybody. Life is not different for me or different for you, whether you're Hindu, Christian, Muslim, or anybody else, a Buddhist, or whosoever you are. The main thing is that we all are sailing into the same boat, and the idea is that the boat is eventually going to drown, and we will also drown with it. So because you see, the life is short, and for everybody death is a thing that you cannot avoid. You have to undergo death. And so, if we are in the same boat, all of us, whosoever we may be, then the end is also quite similar for all of us. If the ship goes down, we will go down with it. So, you see, uh, over here, what happens that the Spirit of Jesus, he is Son of God, so he could do that kind of a miracle, like walking upon a turbulent waters. Now, it's not still waters that somebody comes and says that the waters were still. The waters were turbulent, and yet he was able to walk upon the water. And let me tell you, if you go into a little bit of depth of this situation, you will understand that water is the word, and the Spirit of God was hovering upon His word. So, that is what you can see. In the very beginning, when the earth was being created, the heavens were created, and after that, the earth was being. It's written in the Bible, in the very first chapter of Genesis, you will see that the Spirit of God was hovering upon the deep or the waters. Now, over here, also a similar situation. People witnessed that Jesus was walking upon the waters. That clearly indicates that the Spirit of God was with him, and it was holding him and making him, even giving him the potential and abilities and capabilities of doing such a thing, which is unimaginable for any one of us. But then, how else would he have been counted as a deity unless he actually did some miracles? Because that is the way people see it. Uh, they want a deity to do some miracles so that their belief comes upon that deity, and they began to uh, worship that deity. So he had to do this in a way to tell them that, okay, I'm with you, I'm Son of God, I've got the empowerment to do this kind of an activity which is impossible for anybody else to do. But that is a point made very clear to his disciples, and therefore they also understand this very well, because when he uh, wanted to calm the storm, he actually calmed the storm, and these people, they found that they were safe. You will see that immediately Jesus, what did they do? Then they worshipped him, and they were climbed into the boat, and the wind died down. So when Peter was pulled up, that means unity with Jesus was established. As soon as the unity with Jesus gets established, then what happens? Then all the things that are disturbing in nature, they dry down. And then you're safe. You're safe because you are sailing in a boat uh, in which you have Jesus. And Jesus, if he could do that miracle, he could perform this kind of an unbelievable activity, then obviously he can do it still, because in today's time also he is spirit and he is alive. So when you are in the same boat with Jesus, you are going to be safe always. Remember that, because he has done it before, he will do it again, and that proves that he is having the potential to do it, the empowerment to do it, because God has given him all the things, as God himself dwell in him fully. And that you can read in the Bible, that God fully dwell in Jesus, and therefore he had all this empowerment. Now that is very important. Number one, Peter, as soon as his faith went, he started drowning, and Jesus had to hold his hand and pull him back. And as soon as the unity was established, you will see that the storm gets calmed down, and everybody is safe in the boat, because now the difference is that Jesus is with them. So there's one more thing over here that I would like to bring your attention to, is another place where a similar kind of a thing happens, that you will read in Mark chapter 4, 35, verse 241 verse. And over there he calms the storm. Now over here what happens? Here there's a storm going to hit, and they are very very scared, because they know that the boat is going to get capsized after the storm hits. But Jesus was resting, I mean sleeping, good, I mean not bothered about anything, until the disciples woke him up. He was in the position of rest. Now the question arises that how can everybody be at unrest and Jesus be at rest? Because you see, God fully dwell in him, and that's the most important thing. Jesus, if he dwells in you, then no matter what conditions surround you, whether a storm is going to hit you or any other problem that you are going to face, you are suddenly going to overcome. Now, Jesus was in the resting stage, whereas everybody was at unrest because the storm would have hit, and as soon as the storm hit, the boat would have got capsized and people would have drowned and died. But over here, as soon as Jesus was woken up, they said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" I mean, why doesn't Jesus care? Well, because he knew that, well, when he is there in that boat, nothing is going to affect these people because Jesus is there with him. So nothing is going to have any effect upon the disciples or on the boat in which he is there. So he was at rest because God is with him. So as when God is with you, no matter how much big a storm is and how powerful it is, uh, it's in a position to uproot lives. But you sailing in a boat with Jesus are always going to be safe. So remember that. What happened? Uh, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Be quiet and still." And so the winds died down and it was completely calm everywhere. That's a very important thing. If God is with you, if Jesus is with you, you, no matter what situation you face in your life, you are always going to overcome. And no matter how furious a situation or a catastrophic condition arises, you will overcome it. So remember that you have to have faith. If you don't have faith, you're going to drown, and then after you drown, you're going to die. There's not going to be any good future for you. So you must understand these two things that I told you about. And let me tell you, before I end this session of our fellowship today, that you see, love, when you actually happen to love somebody quite deeply and you really want that person to be a part of your life, then what do? You are ignoring even that person's stupidity, and that also looks to you very, uh, I mean, something that you love. Otherwise, generally, somebody is a little stupid and we lose our temper. But here, when the love element is there, then you never lose your temperaments. You always try to control your temperaments and overcome that anger or that situation because you love that person, and because you love that person, so everything that that person does appears to be very lovable. There was an example of a king who used to love the lady whom he was involved in courtship with, and he happened to give her one pigeon and two pigeons in her hand and told her that I'm going to come, and until then you look after these two pigeons. When he came back, uh, he asked the lady where the other pigeon was. So she said it flew away. So he said how. She let the other one also go and said that like that, I mean, that pigeon also flew away in this manner. So now that king, instead of losing his temper upon her, in fact loved that simplicity and stupidity to the extent that he got married to her. So this is what happens when people are stupid and they appear to be foolish at times, but your love is strong, then you will definitely ignore and love everything that the person does and never have keep any grudge in your hearts. So I would like to tell you that if you want to build relationships, I mean, this is the thing. You have to understand that you have to ignore, overlook the things that are not being done properly by somebody, because that is what love is all about. And because you have to know one thing, that nobody is 100% right and 100% wrong. Everybody has got his own perception about things, and therefore he does things according to it. So like in India, there are 101 things that we do which are uh, not encouraged in other countries, and some other countries they do certain things which are not encouraged in India. So it depends from person to person, people to people, place to place. So you got to understand that nobody is 100% right and nobody is 100% wrong. Everybody does his own kind of thing according to his suitability. So why must we keep grudges among ourselves, whether a Hindu is doing a certain thing, or a Christian is doing another thing, and a Muslim is doing another thing, or somebody else is doing another thing? I mean, you got to develop love, because God dwells only in love. So other things should be ignored. And main thing is that you got to if you want to actually love somebody, you got to love the person's good qualities and ignore the bad ones, because bad ones, maybe you are ignorant about your own bad qualities. You must be having so many more bad qualities than anybody else. So why is there so much of chaos, confusion, unrest in this world as far as religion is concerned? It is because, you see, they do not accept the love of Christ that comes through him, and they don't understand what love is all about, and how they have to go about loving somebody. Even you got to love the person's stupidity at times. If you have to love somebody perfectly, uh, you have to ignore that person's flaws. If you don't do that, then you're always going to be in trouble, and living in this world is going to become very difficult, because you haven't signed a contract with God that you're going to permanently exist here. It is only a few days of your life that you spend here. Rest of your time you are going to spend there, either with God or with the devil. So you got to understand that as long as you are over here, you have to make up with all people, love, spread love, and everybody is doing his bit. Respect the good things. Even people are having, not only you have all the good stored in you, other people are also good in many other ways. So nothing should actually take your focus away from loving. So this is on good note that I end this message today, and I'll be back again soon with something more powerful about love, so that people can build up on this more. And at least you must give it a thought, because in this world today, I am witnessing a lot of hate, and everywhere people are killing each other. And that's, I'm sure that's not why God created man, because he actually created Adam to look after his garden over there. And what is man doing today? He's just destroying, disrupting every activity of God. So I'm sure that's not going to benefit man in any way. Rather, God is going to always, uh, you know, make him accountable in some way or the other. And today the conditions are getting from bad to worse. So I would like you all to think about this, so that when we catch up next time, we can take this chapter forward. So, God bless you all. And I pray that all of you are able to do sufficiently well in your lives, and all the problems that you have, you will overcome. In Jesus' name, Amen. And bye bye.